you're still seeing it's coming in.
All right. I also have with me Pramod Yadav, Supreme Court lawyer with me. Pramod Yadav, this one point that I would like your assessment on that the Supreme Court, while they were staying the provision in the Waqf Amendment Act 2025, that a person should be a practitioner of Islam for 5 years to create a Waqf, they have said that the provision is till state governments frame rules on determining whether a person is a practitioner of Islam. In terms of this, how long does this take, the framing of the rules, and what does exactly that mean in terms of this hearing?
Yeah. First of all, I am just expressing my view is today's Honorable Supreme Court of India and Chief Justice of India, Mr. Gawai Sahab, and Justice Masih Sahab passed this order is fully in favor of the justice, and the justice says for the benefit and bona fide interest of the Muslim below poverty, the poorest persons of the Muslim, and this is the only protections of the fertile property of the below poverty Muslims. So I think I appreciate this view, and Honorable Supreme Court is just slightly changed this Amendment Act, Waqf Amendment Act, merely by saying that the minimum 4 persons in the central council and the 4 members must be in the state Waqf board, must be in non-Muslim. Though the earlier the Amendment Act provided more non-Muslim in this board. So this is slightly, and the CEO must be in the Muslim, because this Waqf board is meant for the Muslim persons and Muslim poor persons. So the locus goes to the Muslim persons who lead and who produce their right before this committee, and he can just say the right of the Muslim in a very emphasized manner and very proving manner in this board. So in this context, Supreme Court protect their right, and I think this is appreciable. But in other side, they says, the non-Muslim must be in the board, out of 23 members. So I think this is appreciable, and the Supreme Court also not stayed the Amendment Act purely of the Waqf Amendment Act by saying that whatever the government passed this and in April 2022 must be in a that what say you can say the Supreme Court authenticate the act of this Amendment Act Waqf Board. So mostly the government focus on the streamline the administration, protections of the property, and Honorable Supreme Court authenticate the protections of the property and the transparency. Because earlier, you see, when the Manmohan Sarkar passed this Amendment Act, Waqf Amendment Act, totally given the extraordinary power. This is the discretionary power of the Muslim to acquire the illegal land. Whosoever the Muslim Waqf Board says, this land is just linked to the Waqf Board, so they just trying to acquire the property. So now the Amendment Act clearly shows, you can't act like a Tanasahi or you dictatorship, you can say. So there must be in transparency and accountability of this property management, and there must be in efficient management. That is why they say the 3 non-Muslim must be in this board. Though the act and especially the AMI chief, Mr. Owaisi and Amanullah Khan, just emphasize that this act is totally illegal, and the government will just interfere in this act, and they will become like a monopoly of this act. So you can just erase this all these facts. So ultimately, the Honorable Supreme Court authenticates the government position. After all, this amendment is going in the right way, and this is easily accessible and easily provided to the hand and mouth persons of the Muslim, those are living in below poverty and poorest of this family. That is why you can see that in Muslim society, the maximum numbers of bhikharis are just surrounding and asking, begging, money on the chauraha, and you can say the nearest by the masjid, so they can give the facility, and their right must be protected. And whatsoever the purpose made for the Waqf Act is totally accessible by this poorest persons. Uh, in other way, you can say nowadays these all big leaders occupy the whole property of the Waqf board, and they are enjoying their power. Though the purpose made for the poorest persons of this Muslim society and Waqf board is just going totally opposite on that way. So I think this is a very balanced order passed by the Supreme Court today for the bona fide interest of the Muslim society. Therefore,
Pramod,
the Muslim poorest person can access this property and Waqf board property.
yes, Pramod Yadav, I'd like you to stay on with us. My another question to Jasmine. Jasmine, we have seen that Muslim leaders and organizations have objected to the Waqf Amendment Bill, and they have asserted that it threatens the autonomy of Waqf properties dedicated for religious and charitable purposes. And they claim that the bill aims to seize such lands and hampers